I've been loving watching everyone's Christmas book hauls, so I thought it was time that I filmed my own, starting with the most exciting book. My sister got me this. She heard me yapping on about it for ages and I wasn't sure whether to bite the bullet and buy it or not, and she bought it for me. I think it's so pretty. I just think the edges are beautiful and I now need to go and pre-order Wildfire. But I'm so grateful that she got me this and I was not expecting it. So opening this on Christmas Day was the best feeling. Before I sent my Amazon wishlist to my family, I decided to take quite a few books off of there and try to focus on the books that I really want to read in 2025. So the first book that we got that I was so excited to get, and I was really hoping it was going to be under the tree, was Play Along by Liz Tomford. I have only read Caught Up and I loved it so much. So I have been waiting for Isaiah's book. I just think it's going to be so cute. I've seen so many tweets and quotes from it, so I am very excited to read it and I'm very grateful to have this one now. I feel like the next one is no surprise. It is Elsie Silver, and I already have the other 3 books in the series. This is the only one I was missing, so I got this one for Christmas and now I have the complete collection, so I cannot wait to dive into it once I have finished Chestnut Springs. Another book that has been at the top of my wish list for so long, it used to be indie published and then it became traditionally published, is Whiskey Business. I have been seeing Elliot post so many quotes and little scenes from it on TikTok and I am dying to read it. They just sound so cute. So I was really hoping that I would get this. It was one of the ones that I left on my wish list and I'm very excited to squeeze this in 2025. Then we have a surprise book fairy. I was not expecting this, but the gorgeous Ebony sent me The Inheritance Games so that we could read it together, and I'm really excited to get to read this with her. I'm going to leave her handle up on the screen if you want to follow her because she is just amazing, and I'm very excited because this is one of the books and one of the series that has been on my wish list and on my TBR since I started reading. I think this was one of the first books that I'd heard about when I got back into reading, so I'm very excited to finally get around to reading it. I think it's also going to be a nice change because I only read romance books, so I feel like this is going to be a little bit different and I'm quite looking forward to it. And because I was back in France, I had to go and check out the newsagents because in France they often do collections of books and special editions for quite cheap and they come out weekly. So the newest collection that they've been doing have been poem books. So we've got this beautiful one that I got for my sister. They're really thin little books. They're only €10.99, but I thought this one was so pretty. I'm kind of jealous, but they only had 1 copy, so I got it for her. We have Edgar Allan Poe, which this one is pretty, but it's my least favourite of the collection so far. There was only these 3 out when we went because we went for a few weeks, and I'm really sad now that we're at home and we can't get the rest. So they just look so pretty together. I love them. I also will be leaving them in their plastic wrapping. I have some from I think like 3-4 years ago and they're still in their plastic wrapping because these editions are just beautiful. They're almost cloth bound, but they're not. They look like cloth, but they are paper. But they're very pretty, so I had to get all of these. And they were also continuing a collection that I already have. They are doing all of the Victor Hugo books, so I already have part 1 of Les Mis, and they had 2 more which were $8.99 for the 2 books. So getting 2 special editions for that cheap, I had to buy them. This one is beautiful. I don't know if you can see all of the colours, but it's like a teal and then turquoise with all of this beautiful gold foiling. And this one is just a little bit plain, but it's still very cute. And I had to buy them. They're so cheap. That's one thing that I miss whenever I come home, is that we don't have collections like that here. I know that a lot of them are actually being published in English and people are finding them in TK Maxx. There was a whole collection of like Jane Austen and all of the classic books that people are finding in TK Maxx with the floral covers. So I have quite a few of those in French, which is a bit annoying now that they're coming out in English, but very excited to have these guys on my shelves. And I mean, I'm never going to read them, but they're pretty to look at. Then in the same vein of bookish gifts, a few years ago I got my sister a little rubber stamp to stamp her books, but it's getting a little bit old now. So I bought her a little self-inking one because I think this is going to work a lot better and might last a bit longer. And then my sister also got this book nook. She's had one before, not from this brand, and she didn't love it because it was really fiddly and the glue just didn't stick very well. So the fact that this one has no glue is going to be great. I also cannot wait to see what it's going to look like when it's finished, because I have now added so many Row Life ones to my wish list. So this is another really good gift for any bookworms or book lovers in your life.